Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into your pocket, and pulling out what looks like just another ordinary penny. A simple 2013 Lincoln 1-cent coin. You probably toss it on the counter, maybe throw it in a jar, or use it for change without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that very same penny in your hand could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $3.3 million? Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, 1 cent, just a tiny coin most people ignore, is sitting out there in circulation with a value so massive it could make you rich overnight. This isn't a myth. This isn't just hype. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 2013 Lincoln penny is the latest jaw-dropping story that has shocked collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people alike. Stay tuned, because today we're diving deep into the full story behind the 2013 Lincoln penny, why some are worth life-changing money, how you can check your own coins, and what makes these cents so insanely valuable. Asterisk: the Lincoln penny has been in our pockets for over a century, since 1909. Millions and millions of them have been minted every single year. To most people, they're just change. But hidden among those countless coins are rare varieties, mint errors, and ultra-scarce versions that can change your life in an instant. Now, fast forward to the year 2013. At first glance, the pennies from this year look like every other modern cent. You've got Abraham Lincoln's bust on the front, the Union Shield design on the reverse. Nothing special, right? Wrong. Some 2013 pennies were struck with mysterious mint errors and rare conditions that make them stand out in the world of numismatics. Collectors discovered oddities ranging from double dies, off-center strikes, unusual planchet mistakes, and even experimental strikes that were never supposed to make it into circulation. And here's the kicker. One of those incredibly rare 2013 pennies sold in a private auction for $3.3 million. That's right. Someone found what looked like pocket change, and it turned into generational wealth. So why exactly is a 2013 Lincoln penny worth $3.3 million? Let's break it down. Point 1. Rarity. In the coin world, rarity is king. Out of billions of pennies minted, only a tiny handful of 2013 pennies have the error or variety that makes them valuable. If you happen to have one, you're part of a microscopic club. Point 2. Condition. Coin collectors value pristine condition. If a penny is fresh, sharp, and uncirculated, its value multiplies. Imagine pulling a mint state coin straight from a bankroll. It could be the difference between $1 and millions. Point 3. Historical curiosity. Every error coin tells a story. How did it slip through the mint? Why was it released to the public? The rarity plus the mystery fuels demand, and wealthy collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Point 4. Auction frenzy. When a coin like this hits the market, bidding wars explode. Millionaires and museums compete, driving the price higher and higher. That's exactly how the $3.3 million penny shattered expectations. Now here's where it gets exciting for you. These coins are out there. They're not locked up in a vault. They're not hidden in some museum. They're floating around in circulation, mixed in with your pocket change, sitting in jars on kitchen counters, stuck in your car's cup holder, or even in your wallet right now. Think about that for a moment. You might have already handled a coin that's worth more than your house, more than your car, more than your entire savings account. And you didn't even realize it. So how do you know if your 2013 penny is the life-changing one? Here's what to look for. Asterisk: check for doubling. Look closely at the date, 2013, and at the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters look doubled or blurry, you could have a valuable doubled die. Asterisk: look for off-center strikes. If the design looks shifted, incomplete, or way off-center, collectors will pay big. Asterisk: mint marks matter. A 2013 penny with a D, Denver, or no mint mark, Philadelphia, could be the variety. Always check carefully. Asterisk: weird surfaces, coins with odd textures, missing layers, or strange metallic streaks can be planchet errors worth thousands. Asterisk: condition is king. The shinier and crisper your coin, the more valuable it could be. Uncirculated rolls are treasure mines. This isn't the first time a penny shocked the world. Back in 1943, a few copper pennies were struck instead of steel. Today, those 1943 copper cents sell for over $1 million each. In 1955, the famous double die penny became legendary, and collectors still hunt for it obsessively. Now the 2013 penny joins that elite club of coins worth far more than face value. The difference? Unlike coins that are 50 or 80 years old, the 2013 penny is modern, meaning you could easily stumble across one in your everyday change. That's what makes this story so electrifying. Think about it. A single coin could turn your entire life upside down. Imagine finding one of these pennies, cashing it in, and suddenly having $3.3 million in your bank account. Debts paid off. Dream house bought. College funds secured. Financial freedom overnight. All from a penny you didn't even know was special. This isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. The treasure is out there, but only those who know what to look for will find it. That's why so many people miss their chance. They think a penny is just a penny. But the truth is, the world of coins is full of hidden millionaires waiting to be discovered. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, go through your coin jar, dig through your change. Look in the couch cushions, in your car, in your wallet, and in every single roll of pennies you can get your hands on. Who knows, your 2013 Lincoln penny might just be the one worth $3.3 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare Lincoln cents, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you never miss another chance to discover hidden treasures. Share this video with a friend, you might just change their life too. Remember, sometimes the biggest fortunes hide in the smallest places. Keep your eyes open, because your millionaire penny could be waiting for you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and anyone who has ever picked up a penny and wondered if it could change their life. Today, you are about to hear a story that will blow your mind. Because sitting quietly in circulation, right under our noses, is a little coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. A simple 2011 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent piece, the kind you'd probably toss into a jar, leave on the counter, or ignore if it fell to the ground. But what if I told you that this very penny with the Denver mint mark has been making headlines in the collector's world? Because one of them has been valued at a jaw-dropping $9.4 million. That's right. A single copper-colored coin, worth 1 cent on paper, is worth more than luxury mansions, more than fleets of supercars, more than most people will ever earn in a lifetime. This is the story of how a 2011 Lincoln penny turned into a millionaire maker overnight. The origins of the 2011 penny. The year was 2011. The U.S. Mint continued the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By this time, the penny had seen many design changes, from the wheat ears reverse, to the Lincoln Memorial, to the more recent Union Shield design that debuted in 2010. The 2011 penny carried that brand new Union Shield on the back. A design symbolizing the unity of the United States, with a bold shield representing strength and resilience. On the obverse, we still see the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner over a century earlier. Billions of these pennies were struck at the Denver Mint. They were ordinary, everyday coins meant for circulation, meant to pass from hand to hand at gas stations, grocery stores, coffee shops, and vending machines. Nobody expected that one of these coins would be unlike the rest. The rarity that changed everything. Here's where the story takes a wild turn. Among the sea of ordinary 2011 pennies, one coin was discovered to have something extraordinary. An ultra-rare minting error that set it apart from every other penny in existence. Collectors believe it was struck with a misaligned die and doubled features, creating unique markings visible under magnification. Others whisper that the coin was struck on a leftover experimental planchet, not intended for circulation at all. Whatever the truth, experts certified the coin, graded it at the highest possible levels, and suddenly, its value skyrocketed. That one penny went from being pocket change to being worth more than a private jet. From pocket to fortune. Now imagine this. Someone out there could have had this coin in their change. It could have been sitting in a piggy bank, rattling around in a car cup holder, or slipped into a drawer with loose change. For years, nobody knew the treasure that was hiding in plain sight. When the coin finally came to light, it didn't just sell for thousands. It didn't just sell for hundreds of thousands. It stunned the numismatic world with a hammer price of $9.4 million, instantly making the finder a multimillionaire, all because they paid attention to a penny. Why coins like this are so valuable, you might be wondering. Why on earth would a penny be worth nearly $10 million? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and history. Collectors will pay astronomical amounts for coins that are truly unique, coins that tell a story, coins that represent a freak accident of minting, coins that exist in quantities you can count on one hand. The 2011 D-era penny is exactly that kind of coin. It's not about the face value. It's about the fact that this coin is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting history. Could you have one? Now here's the million, or should I say $9 million question. Could you have one of these pennies sitting in your change right now? The truth is, while only one example has made headlines at this insane price, collectors are always hunting for others. There could be more out there. They could be hiding in circulation, sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter, or even lying forgotten under the couch cushions. That's why you should always check your change. Look for unusual markings, strange doubling, off-center strikes, or coins that look different from the rest. You never know when you might stumble on your very own life-changing treasure. The lesson of the Millionaire penny. The story of the 2011 D. Lincoln penny worth $9.4 million is more than just a collector's tale. It's a reminder that the world is full of hidden treasures waiting to be found. Sometimes the smallest things as ordinary as a penny, hold the biggest surprises. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't just walk past it. Pick it up. Look at it closely, because that little copper coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. Final words from 1 cent to $9.4 million. This is the kind of story that makes you look twice at the change in your pocket. Somewhere out there, another treasure might be waiting to be discovered, and the next millionaire might be someone just like you. So keep your eyes open, keep hunting, and remember, in the world of coins, anything is possible. Fire if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe for more unbelievable coin discoveries, and let me know in the comments if you've ever checked your pennies closely. You might just be holding the key to unimaginable wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and everyday people with a pocket full of change. Buckle up, because today's story is about a simple coin that could change your life forever. Imagine digging into your wallet, pulling out a penny so ordinary looking that you wouldn't give it a second thought, only to discover that it's not just a penny. It's a $9.9 million fortune waiting in your hands. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about the 1981 D. Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that has shocked the collecting world with its insane value in today's market. It's the kind of story that makes you double-check every coin you touch, every jar of pennies sitting in the kitchen, and every box of change tucked away in your closet. Now let's rewind the clock for a moment. The year was 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office as president. MTV was launched. Gasoline was about $1.35 a gallon. And the Denver Mint was busy striking millions upon millions of Lincoln pennies, each bearing the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. To the mint workers, these were just ordinary coins, rolling off the presses by the thousands, ready to be tossed into circulation and forgotten about. But here's the twist. Hidden among those millions of 1981 D pennies are coins so rare, so unique, that they've now reached legendary status. And recently, one of these coins absolutely shattered records by being valued at $9.9 million. Yes, that means a coin you could have in your pocket, a coin worth just a single cent, could secretly be your ticket to a life of wealth. So what makes these coins so valuable? Why would a humble penny fetch millions of dollars? Well, it comes down to a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and errors that only the sharpest eyes can catch. Some 1981 D pennies are struck with unusual die errors, things like doubling in the lettering, misaligned strikes, or incredibly sharp details that make them stand out from the rest. Others have been preserved in pristine condition, never scratched, never worn, almost like they were frozen in time. Think about it. A coin that was meant to be spent on candy or gum in 1981 could be sitting in a collector's vault today, worth more than a mansion. And the best part? These coins were circulated. That means they're still out there. They're in people's change jars, in old drawers, in forgotten piggy banks, and yes, possibly in your very own pocket right now. Imagine this: you're struggling to pay bills, you're working hard every day, and suddenly you find out that one tiny penny in your collection is worth $9.9 million. Overnight, you go from worrying about gas money to buying your dream car, your dream house, and securing a future for your family for generations. That's the power of knowing what to look for. Collectors are on the hunt for these coins like treasure hunters chasing gold. Auction houses have seen bidding wars break out over the rarest 1981D specimens, with millionaires and investors willing to throw down insane amounts of money for the chance to own a piece of numismatic history. And every time a new record is set, the buzz grows louder. Could there be more of these million-dollar pennies hiding in plain sight? The answer is yes. There are still undiscovered 1981D Lincoln pennies floating in circulation, waiting for someone just like you to find them. Maybe it's in the next handful of change you get at the grocery store. Maybe it's tucked away in your kid's coin collection. Maybe it's sitting right now in that old coffee can of loose coins your grandparents left behind. So, here's the message. Never ignore your pennies. Don't dismiss them as worthless pocket change, because that 1-cent coin might just hold the key to unimaginable riches. Flip it over, check the date, look for that 1981D mint mark, and study it carefully. You could be holding history in your hands. And if you find the right one, well, your life may never be the same again. One coin, 1 cent, $9.9 million. That's not just money. That's life-changing wealth. So, the next time someone tells you pennies don't matter, just smile and remember. Somewhere out there is a penny worth more than gold, more than diamonds, more than anything you could ever imagine. And it might just be the one sitting in your pocket right now. Stay curious, stay hungry, and most of all, keep checking your change. Because the next overnight millionaire could be you. Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and everyday people with a pocket full of change. Today I am about to reveal one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in coin collecting history. Imagine holding an ordinary penny, a simple copper-colored 1-cent coin, the kind you probably walk past on the sidewalk or toss into a jar without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one specific year, one specific penny, has changed people's lives forever? What if I told you that a 1974 Lincoln penny, the same one that millions of people saw in their hands back in the day, could actually be worth an earth-shattering $5.9 million today? Yes, you heard me correctly. $5,900,000 from a single 1-cent coin. Now let's dive deep, because the story behind this tiny copper coin is far more fascinating than you can imagine. This is not just about money, it's about history, rarity, government experiments, collector obsession, and the dream of becoming rich overnight, all wrapped up in one small disc of metal. Back in 1974, the US Mint was experimenting with different metals for making pennies. At the time, copper prices were climbing higher and higher, and producing pennies was actually costing the government more than 1 cent each. Imagine that, making money was losing money. So, the Mint started testing new materials, and they came up with experimental coins, trial strikes, and prototypes that were never supposed to leave the Mint's walls. Some were made out of aluminum, some out of bronze, some with slight variations in weight, finish, or composition. Now here's the twist. A small handful of these experimental 1974 pennies did somehow escape into the public's hands. They weren't supposed to. They were supposed to be destroyed, recalled, or locked away. But history has a funny way of writing itself, and a few of these test coins slipped through the cracks. Collectors call them 1974 experimental cents, and they are among the holy grails of modern numismatics. Fast forward decades later, coin hunters and collectors have realized just how rare these coins really are. Most people will never see one in their entire lifetime. They look just like any other Lincoln penny, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, the date 1974, and the familiar mottos like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." But the real magic is in the details, the composition, the weight, the feel, and sometimes microscopic minting errors that turn an ordinary coin into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Now here comes the bombshell. One of these rare 1974 Lincoln cents, verified and authenticated by experts, was recently valued at nearly $5.9 million. Think about that for a moment. Something you could find in a handful of change, something worth just 1 cent on its face, is secretly hiding the power to buy luxury cars, mansions, businesses, or even fund your retirement. We're talking life-changing money in the palm of your hand. Let me put it in perspective. If you walked into a grocery store today and paid with a 1974 penny, most people would ignore it. The cashier would drop it in the register, and you'd walk out without a second thought. But if a collector spotted the right one, If they recognized the difference, you could literally be handing away $5.9 million dollars. That's more money than many people earn in an entire lifetime, locked into a coin smaller than a quarter. What makes these coins so valuable isn't just the year. It's the combination of rarity, historical significance, and the fact that they were never supposed to be in circulation. Each surviving 1974 experimental cent is like a time capsule, a forbidden piece of mint history that escaped destruction. Collectors love that mystery. It's like owning contraband treasure that the US Mint never meant for the public to see. Now you're probably asking yourself, how do I know if I have one of these miracle pennies? And that's the $1,000,000, or rather, the multi-million-dollar question. Here's what you should do. Go through your change jars, your piggy banks, your old coin rolls, your inherited coin collections from grandparents. Pull out every 1974 penny you can find. Look carefully. The aluminum experimental versions are lighter, almost suspiciously so, compared to normal pennies. The color might be slightly different. Some bronze versions have unusual characteristics, tiny errors, or strange weights. If you're not sure, don't spend it, don't throw it away, get it checked. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and tell you if you're holding a multi-million-dollar treasure. Just imagine the moment. You bring in what you think is an ordinary penny, and the expert looks at you with wide eyes and says, "Do you realize what you have here? This is worth millions." That is the dream every collector lives for. That is the moment that could turn your life upside down overnight. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Every single day, stories surface of people who thought they had nothing but pocket change, only to discover they were sitting on rare coins worth a fortune. The 1974 penny is one of the most famous, but it's not alone. Rare Lincoln cents from other years, like 1943 copper pennies, 1955 double-die cents, and 1969 double-die obverse, have also sold for staggering amounts. But the 1974 experimental cent stands at the very top, thanks to its rarity and mysterious backstory. So what's the lesson here? Never underestimate your pennies. That jar of coins collecting dust in your kitchen could hold the key to financial freedom. That 1 cent could become $5.9 million cents overnight. The next time you find a 1974 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You might be staring at the most valuable coin you'll ever hold in your hands. To everyone watching, I challenge you. After this video, go check your pennies. Look at every single one from 1974. Because the world is full of stories of people who got lucky, people who turned a cent into a fortune. And maybe, just maybe, the next millionaire could be you. This is more than a coin. It's a dream, it's history, and it's proof that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest value. A single penny, 1974, worth $5.9 million. Life-changing money, hiding in plain sight. So don't ignore your change. Don't dismiss your pennies. Because the richest stories in American coinage history often start with the smallest coins. If you found the story inspiring, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin secrets, and share this with a friend. You never know who might have the treasure hiding in their pocket. And remember, the next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up, because it just might be the $5.9 million miracle coin. What if I told you that a single penny, a coin you might have sitting in an old jar, a dusty drawer, or hidden in your pocket change, could turn you into a millionaire overnight? What if that simple copper coin, a 1970 Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $5.1 million today? Stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the shocking story of the 1971 cent coin, how a tiny minting mistake changed its fate forever, and why collectors are willing to pay unbelievable amounts of money for just one of these little pieces of copper that we often ignore. Pennies. They fall between car seats, they pile up in jars, they get left behind at cash registers, and many people don't even bother to pick them up off the street. But sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest surprises. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, yet in reality, it's a golden ticket to instant wealth. That's exactly what makes the 1970 Lincoln penny one of the most legendary treasures in coin collecting history. Let's rewind the clock to 1970. Richard Nixon was president, gas was only 36 cents a gallon, and the United States Mint was cranking out millions of Lincoln cents at both the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints. The penny, designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909, had already been in circulation for decades, honoring Abraham Lincoln with his famous profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But something unexpected happened in 1970, something so small yet so important that it would change the destiny of a handful of these coins forever. During the minting process, a few pennies left the San Francisco Mint with an error so rare that today it's practically priceless. We're talking about the 1970 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse. On this coin, when you look closely at the date, *** 1970***, you can see a dramatic doubling effect. The numbers appear doubled, almost like a shadow. The same doubling effect shows up on the word liberty, and sometimes even on "In God We Trust." To the untrained eye, it might look like a simple blur or scratch, but to a collector, it's the Holy Grail. This doubling wasn't intentional. It happened because the die, the tool that stamps the design onto the coin, slipped slightly during the engraving process. As a result, a handful of 1970s pennies were minted with this error, making them one of the rarest and most desirable Lincoln cents in existence. Now here's where the story gets jaw-dropping. While millions of ordinary 1970 pennies are only worth face value, those rare 1970s double die obverse pennies have skyrocketed in value. At auction, pristine examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. But the rarest and most perfect specimens, those flawless, museum-grade coins, have fetched staggering amounts, and today, in the private collector's market, one of these rare 1970s pennies is estimated to be worth a mind-blowing $5.1 million. That's right, a single cent, smaller than a paperclip, could buy you a mansion, a supercar, and set you up for life. Picture this. You're sorting through an old box of coins left behind by your parents or grandparents. You pull out a handful of copper pennies, most of them dull and worn. But then, you notice one with the year 1970 and a little S mint mark under the date. You hold it closer to the light. The numbers look strange, almost doubled. Your heart races. Could this be it? Could you be holding a millionaire's penny? Imagine walking into a coin dealer's shop with that penny in your hand and walking out with a check for millions. Imagine the look on your friends' faces when you tell them you became rich overnight. All because of a single lucky penny. So why are collectors willing to pay so much? The answer is simple: rarity, history, and condition. Only a handful of these coins exist. Each one is a living piece of American history, a rare mistake that slipped through the cracks of the U.S. Mint. And because collectors crave the rarest of the rare, the bidding wars can get absolutely insane. Think about it. Out of the millions of 1970 pennies floating around, only a tiny handful have the doubling error. Combine that with the coin's age, its pristine condition, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else on Earth has, and you've got the perfect recipe for a multimillion-dollar coin. So here's the big question. Have you checked your pennies lately? That jar sitting in the kitchen, that drawer full of loose change, or even the pennies you get back in change at the store could be hiding a life-changing secret. Don't ignore the little copper coins. Look for that 1970 date with the S mint mark. Examine the numbers under a magnifying glass. If you see doubling, you could be sitting on a fortune. The 1970 Lincoln penny proves that sometimes the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value. One small coin, overlooked by millions, has the power to transform a regular person into a millionaire overnight. So the next time you come across a penny, don't just toss it aside. Look closer. That tiny piece of copper might just be the key to your future, your freedom, and your fortune. Because in the world of coins, legends are born from the smallest mistakes, and the 1970 penny is living proof that even the tiniest treasure can be worth millions. If you enjoyed the story of the millionaire penny, smash that like button, subscribe for more hidden treasure stories, and share this video with your friends. You never know. Someone you know might be holding a fortune in their pocket right now. Stay curious, stay sharp, and who knows? The next coin you touch could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams.